Alright guys, so here we are at Stockton Lake. Beautiful place in WA. It's $16 a night, so it's pretty good accommodation. And it's pretty peaceful now. There's not many V8 speedboats on the water, so I figured I'd just do a quick review, kind of comparison video and all of my experiences that I've had on the road with the drones. It's not all been happy sailing with the drones, I can tell you that. Especially with the Mavic Pros, I've had a lot of dramas with these, and I'll go through that now and let you guys know what's going on. So I think I'll start with a comparison. We'll do the Mavic Pro, which is like the first generation Mavics, and the Spark. These both products are DJI. The price difference for the Pro, for example, it's like $1,000 for the drone, and it's only like $600–700 for the Spark. So the Spark is significantly cheaper than the Mavic. Now the pros and cons about it all. You can see that side by side, they're very similar drones when folded up. There's not a huge amount in them. The Spark is lighter, but realistically they're both a very portable drone. The Spark doesn't have the fold-in, what do you call these, rotors? Whereas there's a Mavic Air as well, which has a collapsible rotors and stuff like that, like the Mavic. But side by side, pretty good. So we'll just touch on the battery life. The Mavic should last about 25–27 minutes in the air, and I find that pretty reliable. The Spark, it only lasts about 17 minutes in the air. So, and of course, like, the battery's tiny on them, so you can't expect them to go up there for too long, you know what I mean? So you get a lot more flight time with these, which can be handy, but I've noticed the Spark, for what we do, it's not that bad. Like, you only need to be up there, do a little spin, come back down, happy days. So battery life, yeah, not too bad. Picture quality, that's one of the most important things. Picture and video for us was the most important thing. Both cameras are 12 megapixel cameras, so they both take very similar photo shots. And video, this can take 4K video, whereas that can only do, I think, 1080p. So most of our video editing and all of that is in 1080p, so we don't really need 4K, but it's there if we want it. So yeah, they're very similar in terms of picture and video quality. So I'll talk about the Spark now. Like I said, it's very similar to the Mavic. It does have its negatives though. One of its negatives for me is it's very laggy, and when I say laggy, it's controlled by a Wi-Fi from your phone, whereas the Mavic is controlled by the remote, which is it's infrared plus Wi-Fi. So what that means is you can only go 2 kilometers with this drone, which is a lot, but you can go 7 kilometers with the Mavic, which is greater, obviously. Now that's in a straight line with no interference and all that, so it's very rare that you ever get to them top end scales. And especially with this, I've only managed to get it about 100 meters away working off Wi-Fi, so I'm not sure how to get 2 kilometers away. You might have to buy like an add-on for the remote or something like that. So what happens is when I get to that like 100 meters away, the signal coming back gets all mumbly and it stops and freezes. So as I'm taking these beautiful drone shots with the video, I'll get like halfway through the shot and then it'll freeze, and then I won't know what's going on, and then it'll come back and it turns out I'm over here like another, you know. So that is a big disappointment, because I love doing video shots and stuff like that. So these are only good really for close distances. So if you're taking a picture or aerial of your campsite, these are great. But for doing what we do, the Mavic just absolutely destroys it, just because I can do so much more with the Mavic. So I'm just going to touch up on what dramas I've had with these Mavics now. The comparison, as you can see, is pretty similar. Which one would I buy again? I'll let you know at the end of the video. But here we have the Mavic. Now the main problem that I have with these drones is this silly gimbal right there. See if I can focus on that. That is what I have constant problems with. That little motor with the camera on it. That is the main problem with this thing. So what happens is, when we're on corrugated roads, the drone sits inside and the gimbal rattles like that, and it gets to a point where it rattles so much that something fails inside, probably a loose ribbon cable, whatnot. I've gone through 4 gimbals now, and I'm pretty sick of it, to be honest. It's just getting too expensive to replace. And you can see that I don't have the gimbal clamp in. That's because the gimbal clamp actually makes things worse for this, as the gimbal clamp rubs on the ribbon cable. So when I got this one back from repair, took the gimbal clamp straight off, and what I've done is I've put a bit of foam in the gimbal case, and what happens is when I lock that in like that, it doesn't move at all, not one bit. And so far that's been the best result that I've found to protect that gimbal, because otherwise there is absolutely nothing wrong with this drone. There's no faults with it apart from that, and it sucks because that's the weak point of this drone. So with this gimbal problem, like I said, I've had 4 replaced now. What I do is I contact DJI, and the first 2 were under the 1-year warranty side of things. So I sent it back to them and I said, this is what's going on, you know, sort it out. And even because it was under the 1-year warranty, I still had to pay to get it fixed. Now to pay to get these fixed is $170, and that includes postage as well. And they organize the postage. So it's good they organize the postage, but at the same time, that's $170 out of my pocket, and that's $170 4 times. So I'm up $500-600, you know. I might as well have bought another drone by the time I'm bloody done fixing these, you know what I mean? So the first 2, I was like, yeah, fair enough, the corrugations might have got to it, but then the 3rd one happened, and then the 4th, and then I just cracked it and I said, you guys need to fix this. They didn't really listen to me. I managed to get the 4th one for free. They fixed that for free. And they should have, because that one I didn't even fly the drone. It was just sat in its case, never used. I pulled it out and it was overloaded. So they did replace that one for free, which was good. So when the first gimbal overload happened, I went out and bought myself one of these cases from Bunnings. This is a Craftwright case, and it's just padded case, really standard. Cut your own foam out, so you can modify it to suit. So I've got the 2 Mavics in here, the 2 remotes, and 3 batteries and some accessories and stuff like that. So this case is perfect. Recommend that one. And it just keeps everything nice and tidy. And with the Spark, all I keep the Spark in. I don't even keep it in a case like, you know, I probably should, but I don't have to. I haven't had any problems with it. I just keep it in the bag that it comes with, and just slide straight on in there, and that's it. So to summarize and kind of wrap this up, like I said, both drones have their own purpose. So if I was to start this big lap again, I would buy a Mavic. I would also buy a Spark, because if the Mavic breaks, I know I can rely on the Spark to always turn on and work. And just because it's got, you know, it's got a different gimbal, which is a hell of a lot better than this one. So for reliability, the Spark is the way to go, and it's cheap. So anyone can afford, well, not anyone, but at $600-700, anyone can really afford that over spending, you know, $1,500 or whatever it is for a Mavic. So yeah, if I was to do it again, backup drone, main drone. But yeah, I love my Mavics, and if anyone out there owns a Mavic, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a love-hate relationship, and yeah, at the moment I love it because it's working. But yeah, that about wraps it up, guys. So I hope I help a lot of you guys out in picking a drone for your travels. And yeah, I wish you all the best of luck, and I'm gonna get back into it, probably jump in the lake behind me. Have a good one, guys.